Hi, this is Michael Ray. I want to try something a little bit different today. Instead of doing the normal blog critique of my own images, I wanted to do it on video instead of just typing out the critique. So let's get started. This is a shot I did quite a long time ago, and there's a lot of things I like about it, and there's a lot of things I don't like about it. But I thought it'd be interesting for you to sort of see what I see. So let's get started. First of all, the shot's just a little bit busy, but we had a lot to say, and I think the environment works pretty well. I mean, it tells a little bit of story about what's going on. We're cooking the apple cider, and it's a little slice of life kind of thing. Compositionally, I really like, there we are. I really like the way there's negative space running through here, the way it kind of just scrunches up through the back here. I really like that. I like the way the handle is formed here, kind of goes into the negative space under this second glass here. I like the way the ladle just kind of floats in there, and I like the way this sticks up. I do not like the way this goes straight up and down. I think I'd much rather it have a little bit of slant to it. But I do like the way that it kind of just fits into that negative space. You know, it's the same color pretty much, but it really stands out because of the lighting. That was all happy accident too. It's not something that I tried to do, I'm sure. One interesting thing here, I think it'd be interesting to notice, is the cinnamon sticks here. If they were turned just a little bit more in the opposite direction, you would almost think they were straws. And because you do see that little separation right there inside this and a little imperfection up here, you know that they're not straws, so you know that they are cinnamon sticks. So that's kind of an interesting idea. I like the fact, the colors. I like what's going on color-wise. I like the red and yellow, how this sort of matches this. That's kind of nice. Probably one of my favorite things about the whole shot is the steam. I mean, we poured hot cider in there right at the last second, and we had lights coming from behind, and it really showed off the steam really well. And it looks realistic. I mean, this glass is all steamed up right here. There's steam coming off the back one, but it wasn't quite as noticeable. And there's probably two reasons for that. Number one is we knew this was going to be the foreground piece, and it would be much more prominent. So we probably did that one last, so it was probably just a little bit hotter. And I might not have backlit this steam as much as I did this because I knew it would be showing up. A couple other things I like about this is, I really like how the handle fits in there. That's kind of nice. And, the fact that you can't see the handle on the back cup is, I don't know, kind of bothers me just a little bit. I almost wish I would have seen it just sticking right out here a little bit, or maybe just out here just a little bit, but it really doesn't bother me. I mean, it brings your attention in here. Compositionally, it's just kind of a nice little circle. One of the other things that I like really about this is the texture that I was able to catch on this biscotti down here. That's really nice. I use a light that is very crisp, and it creates crisp shadows, which can be really objectionable sometimes, but it gives you that texture that just is amazing. And it's just, you can't do that with a soft box. And one of the downsides to using that box, or the light that I use, is it casts long shadows, long crisp shadows. And if you look here, you can kind of see the shadows starting here, but because the light is so low, they just sort of go off the frame and you don't really notice them. So it's another episode of me getting away with my light that gives me the texture I like. Another thing that I think looks really real is this little highlight right here. And speaking of highlights, these highlights here and here on the top of these, they're from my glare light, and I've written, I think a couple of blog posts or articles about that you might want to look up. So I think that adds a little bit of something to it. Whenever you're shooting a wine or the cider or something like that in a clear glass, you need something to differentiate the top from the side. And that's what a glare light does, is it gives you some some action, some tonal undulation, I call it. There's something else going on. So you really kind of need that. Another lighting thing I like is all these little chings here. Like, it just gives some life to the photo, all these little chings. And sometimes those chings can be distracting, but there's none like really close to the edge of the frame. Maybe this one here is just like a little pain in the butt. But all in all, I really like this. Focus-wise, I like what's going on. You know, you definitely get the message that we're trying to convey. I like the way the depth of field goes away back here, and I can't even tell what that stuff is, but that's okay because it's an environment. It makes me think that we are in a real environment, and that's part of the storytelling. I think a lot of photographers just don't get that about food photography. The things that are outside the frame or just barely outside the frame really make a difference. I mean, if it's outside the frame and it's casting a shadow into the frame and you can see that shadow, that tells your subconscious that there's something else going on out there, and it's something to consider. Okay, let's talk about some things I don't like about the photo. Number one, I think I told you about this already. I don't like the way this sucker goes straight up and down. I don't know. It just would be a little more graceful if it went a little bit this way, a little bit that way, just something a little bit different. Probably the thing I like least about this is right over in this area. I'm just not real keen on the way these, I don't know if we needed those napkins or not. And they're tangenty right here, right here. I don't mind so much that they're a little bit cattywampus, so that almost I like. But I don't like how this kind of just tweaks in there a little wee bit. Just this whole area kind of bothers me. And if I had to do it over, I'd probably work on that. This little tangent right here, it's not terrible, but it bothers me just a wee little bit. So that kind of bothers me. Another thing is, like, you know, when somebody cleaned off this pot, they left some fuzz on it. I mean, this would be a really easy retouch. I mean, you're looking at a raw file here pretty much. And I hope somebody retouched that before it went off. But yeah, I mean, I like the shot, the color's good. I like the lighting, the light ratio's good, the light direction was proper, the focus worked out, the props are nice, the stylist did a really good job. You know, the cinnamon sticks are not too tall, not too short. I mean, this was probably a happy accident, just it happened to just float in there. So that worked out really well, the way it cropped just into the frame. Compositionally, this is really sweet. That's really sweet. I like how this goes a little bit darker. I mean, it's like it helps bring your eyes back into the frame. You know, it's probably the same green as down here, but it goes just a little bit darker back there. And that's one of the things that brings your eyes into the center of the composition here. So I like the lemons. I like the lemons. I like a little bit of crinkling going on in the napkins. To me, it makes it a little more realistic. You know, it's not just flat, flat, flat. There's some life to it. So that little bit of folding going on is great. These highlights right here are great. All these chings are really good. You know, this modulation through here is something that I probably could have stuck a card behind it or something, but I think it's working pretty well. So all in all, I'm happy with this. Okay, I think that pretty much does it, and maybe that'll give you some insights into what a photographer thinks when he's looking at food photography. So give me some feedback on this if you can. You know, put something in the comments of the post, and let me know if you want to see more of these kind of things. And if you think it's something that might be interesting to a food photographer friend of yours, please share it, okay? And if you haven't signed up for my blog, please do that, okay? Thank you very much.